Today we're taking a look at some artisans from a company called Terra Keycaps. Thanks to Luke at Terra Keycaps for sending out their 5 bestsellers for a review. Check out the links in the video description, which will earn you a whopping 20% off on the Terra Keycaps website. Speaking of the website, which is terrakeycaps.com, if you head over there via the link in the description, you'll find a nice and simple website with an artisan page, a Terra projects page, and a desk mat page. On the artisan page, there are currently some 30 artisans available, with a price range starting at €16.95, with the most expensive artisan currently coming in at €32.95. In US dollars, that's around $19 to $36, or in Great British pounds, that's about £14.50 to £28. The well-known artisan companies like Salvan, Ramaworks and Hibby MX generally start at around €50 or dollars, and they can run right up to 70 or 80 for more exotic designs and materials. So I think Terra Keycaps are really looking to carve out a market for people who want metal artisan keycaps but don't want to pay top tier prices. On the Terra projects page, you can see they have some interesting keycap set projects available soon, and for the highest price of €65.95, you actually get a base kit, a mouse pad and an artisan, with add-ons available for other layouts. On the desk mat page, there are currently 8 mats to choose from, all coming in at under €20 for big 900 by 400 by 3mm desk mats. Also in development is an emoji macro pad with 12 emoji custom keycaps, so some interesting stuff coming up. Now let's take a look at the keycaps they've sent over for review. As I said, I have the top 5 sellers, which will run through from lowest price to highest, after which I'll do a comparison with some of the more expensive artisan brands, then I'll run through a sound test. First up, we have the Metal Element keycap, and more specifically the gold version. Obviously for €18.95 you aren't getting solid gold, you're actually getting gold plated zinc alloy which has been polished and electroplated to keep that mirror shine, and it does have some nice weight to it. The finish on this one isn't flawless, with some noticeable pitting and rippling on the gold plating. You can see in these close-up photos I can get my phone camera to focus on the surface of the keycap without issues, due to the imperfections in the plating giving it something to focus on. For comparison, this is the Ramaworks X Aegyptus Artisan, and I can't physically get my phone camera to focus on the surface of the keycap. It keeps finding the reflection due to how flawless the finish is. What is very much worth mentioning here is that the Ramaworks keycap cost me €49 plus shipping, over 2.5 times the price of the Terra Keycaps Metal Element. This one's not really my cup of tea, as it's a design style that needs precision. Mirror polished metals and coatings need to be flawless, as that's kind of the whole point in a mirror finish. That said, it's certainly passable without close scrutiny, and it's hard to argue that it's not good value for the price. Fitment was fine on the Cherry Nixie stem, but it was extremely hard to remove from the 1 unit case cutout on my Paragon, due to the keycap being a little oversized on the outside, likely due to not accounting for the plating in the final dimensions. Next up, and also costing €18.95, we have the First Step on the Moon keycap. This one is hand polished antique nickel plated zinc alloy and is a much nicer keycap than the last in my opinion. While the same sort of imperfections are present on this one, they don't feel out of place as it's not mirror polished. Instead, it has a nice brushed steel look with a textured design on top and a much more handmade aesthetic. Artisans don't need to be without imperfections, and in fact this more handmade look gives it a really authentic artisan look. I really like this one, much better than the last at the same price, and it wouldn't look out of place on a more expensive keyboard. Fitment was completely fine, solid engagement with the Nixie stem and easy enough to get off. Third, we have the Floppy disk keycap coming in at €21.95. This is also hand polished nickel plated zinc alloy with a nice bit of weight to it, but on this one we have a coloured enamel fill to get the black, white and red Doom floppy disk colouring. This one is close to mirror polished again, but instead of looking flawed, the imperfections in the mirror polishing look much more intentional and in keeping with the design. I really like this one, it's right up my street in terms of the design, with the silver polished finish on the sides and the colourful Doom floppy disk on top. When installed, the quality looks quite exceptional on this one, and the design really hits nostalgic for me as an 80s baby and 90s teen. Great artisan, a little harder to install on the Nixie stem, but you do get varying fitment even on the most expensive artisans, which is why they make tools to adjust them. Fourth, and also coming in at €21.95, we have the Gothic Keycap. This is also hand polished antique nickel plated zinc alloy with a nice bit of weight to it. The design is based on the St Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh, which is interesting, and it also has a really nice surface finish in the style of kind of a brushed brass. Also with imperfections, but again very much in keeping with the style of the keycap on this one. The stem is much meatier on this one than all the others they sent over, which is nice in terms of looking high quality and robust, but bad in terms of the issue I had, which was terrible fitment on the stem. I tried adjusting it a few times, which was made difficult by the thickness of the stem, but couldn't quite get it to sit properly in the time I had to spend on this video. Nice artisan, just may need some work to get it to fit. Finally, we have the most expensive keycap at €32.95, the Abalone Whale. This one is hand polished brass with the abalone shell embedded into the tail, and it also has a reasonable weight to it. It has a really nice sort of textured matted finish with a really nice ocean design on top, with the whale's tail protruding up with some nicely seated abalone shell on the fin. I'm not a huge fan of these more 3D designs where parts extend out of the top of the normal profile of the keycap, but I do appreciate that it's kept functional by having the tail protruding and curving away from the top of the keycap. A really nice keycap for those who like this sort of design. Fitment was also completely fine on this one. In terms of a side-by-side comparison with some of the higher end brands, I've got a Cerakote 2 yellow artisan from Selvin, which is cerakoted, laser etched, then clear coated brass. This one costs €55 plus shipping. I also have the Ramaworks Ex Aegyptus artisan you saw earlier, which is polished brass for €49 plus shipping. This one is the Hibby X Chaos Theory Butterfly Artisan, which is brass with a PVD rainbow coating for €52 plus shipping. This one is the Ramaworks Retro Wave Purple Sun in aluminium for €52 plus shipping, and this one is the Hibby X Fenglisu in aluminium for €43 plus shipping. Now I do want to stipulate here that we are comparing keycaps in vastly different price points, almost triple the price in some cases. We're also comparing premium artisans made using high precision CNC machining to artisans made using casting methods and hand finishing by Terra Keycaps. The difference is pretty significant. With the premium brands you get high quality materials, much more high precision on the manufacturing, and a much better finish. Beyond those points, the main things you'll notice is how much more material there is on the premium artisans, given they are CNC machined. The depth of the inside in the empty section around the stem is far shallower on the premium keycaps because they've machined the minimum material away needed to allow the keycap to bottom out cleanly. It makes no sense to spend more time machining to remove more material, which will only make the keycap thinner and lighter. The finishes are also much higher quality on the premium keycaps owing to the fact that they are also machining processes like cerakoting, laser etching, painting, PVDing, or machine polishing. In terms of fitment on the switch stems, I don't believe there's a great deal of difference between the premium brands and the Terra Keycaps. As I said before, it's variable on all artisans regardless of price. Let's have a quick listen to the sound comparison across the Terra Keycaps artisans and the artisans from the premium brands. So the comparison there was only to show you the difference in what you get from the big brands versus a company like Terra Keycaps. For me, both Terra Keycaps and the premium brands are completely worth the money they cost respectively. To summarise, I think Terra Keycaps artisans are very nice for the price, provided you pick the ones to suit your preference. For me, the floppy disk was my favourite, and based off this I can see there is plenty on the website which I'll really like. You might prefer the Abalone Whale Keycap, which likely indicates you'll be more into the handmade looking offerings like the Gothic Keycap or this nice bookshelf artisan. There's something there for everyone. And that's it. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.